Okay, hello everybody. Oscopter back again. We are continuing. That's better. All right, we're continuing our cluttering. Um, hopefully finishing the maze today. Ba da ba ba ba. Um, but yeah, hopefully we're gonna be finished with maze cluttering today. Um, otherwise we'll finish it up tomorrow and put the finishing touches of clutter for the whole level. That's what I'm hoping for. And then this weekend we'll start scripting and nav meshing and all that. Nav meshing, I feel like will be. I really couldn't tell you. I feel like it'll be a little bit easier because it's not a cave. Got a lot of flat ground. So we'll see. We'll see. But today we're listening to Rafa VOD review his Quake games from a few years back. So that's just what we're doing. But I'm going to play this video. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to play it because I have yet to eat. So I'm going to eat. And then we'll continue.
So, okay. Um, so we're getting into the picks and bans here. So for the servers, the delta was lower on EU between us, so we played EU for maps 1, 3, and 5. And so only 2 and 4 were on NA. And so that meant that I got to choose whether to pick or ban. So I decided to ban. And so, as I won't go into the details, but I banned Ruins again in this set, and then Wenger decided to ban Exile, which is fine. I figured he would probably ban either Veil or Exile. He's been playing well on Deep Embrace, so I figured out of the two new maps, he probably would leave that one on the table. It fits his style pretty well. And I guess he just wanted to choose to get rid of potential randomness of one of us falling in the pit, and so that's why he opted out for that. And who knows? I don't know how much practice he had on the map. Like I said, there were quite a few Europeans that stopped streaming all of their practice um, going into this playoffs, and he was one of them. So it's not like I had any info outside of the weekly matches on whether he was playing it really hard or not. But um, so yeah, so that's what he decided to go with. So I picked Corrupted Keep, even though he's very, very good on Corrupted Keep, I tend to edge out the map um, time and time again, even if it, just by a little bit. I tend to have the right pick for the scenario, whether it's like first or second map. So it doesn't really matter whether I can pick first or if I'm counter picking. I tend to play well against him, and it really just comes down to, I think, that the consistency I have in timing the items throughout the game allows me to find like one or two more mistakes that he makes compared to myself throughout the game, and that ends up being the difference in the scoreline is like one or two frags. Because Wenger's rockets on Corrupted Keep are honestly, they're incredible. There are so many games I've seen of him where he is out of control, and he should be like every other player at the point where he's going to die, and then he's going to have to give up a few to come back, and then he just pulls off such amazing prediction and spam to buy him space and to potentially offset control. It's pretty incredible, to be honest. I think right now he has the best rockets when it comes to playing on Corrupted Keep out of anybody in the world at the moment. So since I was able to ban first, I know that Wenger, along with Razy, is very, very good at clutch. And just between like Wenger and my playstyles, I just wanted to get rid of clutch right away, even though I don't expect him to pick it on Corrupted Keep. because I want the draft to be a little less random against him. I want it to be to where, okay, we don't get to like a map 2 to 4, and then it's like really awkward whether I ban clutch or not. And it's like if I ban another champion, he picks clutch and it's a hard matchup. If I ban clutch and he picks another champion, then that champion doesn't really have as much of an equal counter pick at that stage in the draft. So just going into it, I was like, I don't want to even leave it on the table for him. Like he's just so good at it. I was like, I'll just eliminate it right away, and whatever he decides to pick at the start, whether it's BJ, Strog, Galena, Eisen, Keel, Sorlag, whatever. There's so many good picks on Corrupted that you can pick first that are like safe ones. I have good things that I want to either A, just pick to have a good chance in that matchup, or even pick it and deny him for maps going forward. So he decided to pick BJ, which I think was pretty smart because a lot of people have been leaving it up for me, and I've just been playing so well with BJ on Corrupted Keep for so long. I think it was really smart for him to take it, and this is the first time when we've played on this map that he has played BJ. In the past, it's always been him picking like he'll pick a Doom or Strog or Galena on this map, but he was trying to take away a strength of mine. So this is something that Wenger has improved upon over the past year, is his draft phase and just overall balance of how many champions he's good at and what he can play. So there's a few picks that I like into BJ. I like on this map, like especially when it's the first pick. Um, I think Keel can do well against BJ because of the stack, the splash damage reduction, as well as like when BJ pops dual wield, sometimes like all it takes is just hitting one grenade and it pops BJ at the right area, and then he can't follow up with any damage, and it kind of puts him out of position on the map. So he's a good pick for that. Especially with the starting stack that you have, so that even if you die, sometimes you can come back and you're not out of control, and BJ can't get that full rotation going. Other good picks against him can be Ranger, because then Ranger can really force close range fights, and then he can use the orb to either engage and potentially burst BJ down before he can use the dual wield effectively, or you can use the orb as a distraction method and an escape option. That could potentially be good. But playing Ranger into that also, like if you get zoned out by BJ pretty well and you're fighting from mid range all the time, BJ will win that because the hitbox is better, and with BJ's passive of being able to restore health after taking like machine gun trades, Ranger will lose those every time. So if you're not finding ways to work your way in, then BJ can definitely come out on top because he will out aim you. Eisen is good against it, which is what I picked. Well, Eisen's more like a 50-50 against BJ, and that's what I ended up picking in the finals against Cypher because of what was left on the board. Then Strog is also a good pick. It's like a 50-50 battle, but I wanted to leave it up potentially for the next map. And that's why I didn't pick Strog. I was like, you know what? I want to take Keel away from him. I don't want him to play as many tanks just with how hard he's been hitting, so I decided to play that. Which then goes into the next map where he has the ban, and sure enough, he decided to ban Strog. And so going into this, I was either going to pick, I was likely going to pick Strog, Scale, or Sorlag, depending on whatever matchups. And since he banned Strog, I decided to pick Scalebearer, and Scalebearer into Ranger it's a pretty even matchup. And to be honest, with the matchups that I had in this tournament with Scale versus Ranger, it's hard to explain, but I was getting hit a lot harder than usual, so I was taking even more damage than usual. Like both players, when they played me, were LGing above 50% and railing like 60+%. Where it actually is pretty difficult to do that and to do effective damage all the time, because you can use Scale's charge to reduce damage and take over space. Because Ranger has one of the biggest hitboxes of the mediums. So even though you're a tank, like you can potentially out bully Ranger, because if you get into LG range and shotgun range, like you can deal just as much damage because his hitbox is pretty big to balance out the amazing passives and ability that he has. So that's why I went with what I went. Then on Vale, I decided to ban Eisen because he's been playing very well with Eisen. And so I got rid of it, and he decided to play Sorlag. And I was like, okay, well, I want to try to match the dot damage. I don't really have any other champ. There's no tanks left to play into it. Ranger's not available. At the time, I didn't want to play Galena into it. I just didn't feel like that would be the right choice at the time.
Great games this finals, man.
Well, thank you. I'll get to that after the games. I appreciate that. So I decided to pick Death Knight since he's been improved upon and see what I could do there. And then going into Deep Embrace, this is a really hard choice for him to make. And I get why he banned Doom, because a pick that he would likely make into Doom if he allowed me to pick it first would be Ranger, but Ranger's off the board because he had to already choose it. And playing Athena into Doom can be okay, but it's a risk. Because if Doom gets that full control going, it can be so difficult and you can get zoned out for way too long as Athena, and it just forces you to have to hit everything. So I like the ban that he made, but at the same time, he's like, fuck, what do I do? Like, if I ban Doom, I give him Athena. If I ban Athena, I give him Doom. So he just had to choose the lesser of two evils that he thought he could deal with. So he banned Doom, and so I insta-locked Athena. I knew that he would likely play Anarchy over like Nyx into the matchup, because Anarchy actually, once it comes to Deep Embrace being like the 3rd through the 5th map, he's a really good pick on this map. He's actually very good. So I knew like in this matchup I would have to use my mobility to try to secure extra frags and or like bait out the injection and create distance to try to win this. And this was a really fun matchup to play. And then on this one, it was just kind of like I didn't have a lot of good options left. It was the champs on the board were Slash, Nyx, Visor, and Galena. And, Slash isn't very good on Awoken. She's just okay. And the thing is, even if you pick Visor into Nyx, Nyx is better on Awoken than Visor. So even though Visor on some maps can be a good counter to her, on Awoken it's not so much because of her mobility to be able to traverse and control the central area of the map. It can buy her so much time that even though she can like move towards certain areas of the map to make it very difficult to find her, and she can get her invis back again and again. So that's why I didn't want to leave that on the board for him. He's a very, very good Nyx player. So I decided to ban it and just take more of like, honestly, in this matchup, I think Galena is better. I figured he would pick it, but instead of it being a 60-40 matchup or like a 70-30, I was settling for like 55-45, which gives me a better chance. So that's why I thought about doing that, and that's why that ended up being the draft that we had. And fortunately for me, we didn't even have to go to the 5th map. I managed to close it out in 4. But there's a lot of thought process that goes into the pick and ban phase, and a lot of it depends on your opponent and how good they are at certain champions and whatnot, and what you want to leave on the table. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to give yourself, especially in a best of 5, as many like slight champion advantages as possible. And that's all up to you. Like if somebody is having problems in the pick ban phase, that's their own fault. And it's their own fault either due to picking just comfort picks or just not broadening their champion pool enough as it is. And like I said, this is something that Wenger has improved upon a lot in the last year. He's somebody who's pretty much all the time now, he's giving himself a really good chance every single map, in every single matchup. He's being very flexible with what he can play. Whereas he used to be a player that would pick more comfort picks, and now he's strategizing a lot more, and it's really good improvement to see in his game. So let's go ahead and get into Corrupted Keep. Hopefully I don't go ahead too far. Okay, so off of this spawn, there's a couple things that can happen. Either I take the nail gun and the armor, and then I go get the heavy and get shotgun. But right here, I wanted to go to this area and kind of figure out what he wants to do, because players will either get the rocket and they'll head over to the bridge, or they'll get the rocket and they'll try to, because they can cut you off first. They can't get onto the mega before you, but they can get in position to try to spam some damage and get free damage as they then back off onto items since you've just taken it. And so I'm going to kind of posture for position and see what I can do, and just kind of decide on based off of what he does. If he goes towards LG, I'll just try to deal some damage. let him go take it, and I'll go take the heavy and then work my way in from there. If he decides to go get the heavy, I'll try to deal some damage and get an LG and not take too much getting out of the area. So see how I'm taking my time? Whereas if I kept jumping there at full speed, I would have taken like an 80 to 100 damage rocket moving quickly from Mega to LG. That's like, you know, if you just are just going at full speed and they're going at full speed and they don't like hit a wall, they'll be able to get there to hit you in time. So I've safely secured myself the Mega without taking any damage. So I have the timing on it, and now it's just about getting the rest of the guns and trying to keep track on when he's going to pick up heavy, since it's going to be delayed. Yep, so now I'm getting the weapons. I'm trying to like use clues to figure out where he is. I'm holding the lower part of the map because right here I'm just trying to make a hard read. A lot of players recently have been changing their approach to this map, and instead of coming through high or through nail gun to try to get their way to LG, they're like rushing in through low, and they're hoping that you're trying to catch them out at rocket launcher or at nail gun or something. And by the time that you hear them, it's too late, and they've come through at full speed, and they're going to go through the portal, and they're going to get LG and get out. So that's what I was looking for here, is for him to try to do that. And that's why I'm positioned the way that I am. Since we're both even in stack, I'm trying to make a good like trap and bait type situation. But he's playing it very smart. He's playing tentative, just trying to figure out where I am, what's going on. So here I'm working my way to shotgun, and then I'm going to see if I can catch him on Mega or what's going to happen here. Because I'm so stacked, he's not going to be able to all-in me and get a kill here unless I totally mess up. Because I'm going to have rockets and nades to spam at the choke, etc. if I need to back off and get away. So I'm just going to go back lower here and see what happens at Mega. Okay, so I don't anticipate him to be up at the top mid yet, and so I went up thinking he might be at LG or going back to lower, but we both are going to have a fight here. And as you see in this fight, even though he's dual wielding me, my stack comes into play to try to help mitigate it being too bad, and as well as nades are going to save me here. Because as I'm backing off, I can keep spamming them and covering the angles where LG will be most effective. And I know that this armor is coming up because based off the beginning, he ran from rocket to armor to above Mega. So now I'm okay. And so here, he's likely going to anticipate me to go to Mega. I honestly don't care whether he gets Mega or heavy. It doesn't matter. Right here, that grenade has won me the opportunity to see if I can get a kill and then get control. And so he's just rushing his way over to heavy, trying to get there as fast as possible, and he's not covering his ass. And so it opens up the opportunity for me to get a free kill because I'm getting all this free damage right away. And so I'm leaving the LG up because I know that about 6 months ago, it was like halfway through stage 1, the spawns were changed to where the minimum time between respawning now once you're dead is no longer 3 seconds, it's 2 seconds. So I know that if I go to get that LG ammo, even though I need it, it will allow him to spawn at MG quicker and more safely to get the Mega. So I'm like, okay, well, it's better for me to leave that right now and maybe come back and get it. And it's more important for me to rush instantly over to the Mega, to make sure that I get a guaranteed time on it, and B, to see if I can, find some follow-up damage and punish him for picking it up. So I get over there, I do a little bit of damage, not too much, and so now I'm just going to deny this armor. So right now I know that he has a good amount of health but no armor, because the light armor that we fought for when he was dual wielding is going to come up at 8. Then the heavy armor is after that, so I have the cycle. It's really important to as you're getting better at duel, everybody needs to learn how to just know the cycle of which items come up in sequential order, right? That's the first step. That's the first step that will help you in getting better at duel. The second one is once you've learned to cycle all the time, then you need to start timing the major items to the T all the time. Always be timing heavy and Mega. Never have any doubt about when those two come up. And so you practice that and get better at that. And then as you get better at that and that becomes second nature to you, that's when you start to not only remember the order and the timing of the major items, You start timing the light armors as best as you can. In Quake Champions, it is actually more difficult to time the light armors than it was in Quake Live and Quake 3. Because in Quake Live and Quake 3, there was no armor cap. There was no default cap on picking up light armors. So if you were in full control and you had cycle of the map, you could just keep timing the whole time. And you knew when they're coming up all the time. You could take them and keep that going. But in this game, there comes points in the match where neither player wants to collect the light armor. It's like, you know, as the player in control that, okay, the out of control player has worked their way to the default stack. It's not worth damaging myself to take the light armor because I need the extra health and armor for whatever the fight is. And they could be waiting around trying to listen out for me to damage myself, and then they could catch me off guard, and that could, you know, mess things up. So at certain points in the game, you're going to lose track of the light armors, and that's okay. You just need to keep remembering that they're available or not, remembering the cycle, and then eventually you'll get the timing of them again as like the armor stacks become more equal again throughout the ebb and flow of control through the game. So I come back and collect that, and now my job is to try to go through center and to see if he's sticking around for the light armor or not, and maybe I catch him holding ground too aggressively. So I'm like trying to clear the likely areas that he's holding. I hit him with a shit ton of damage here. And so here I'm just trying to catch which escape he's going to use, and I'll likely try to all in. But I catch him too late to drop, so I'm seeing if he'll commit to this area again like he did before, and he is. I took a lot of damage, but that's okay. So right now, since the dilemma is here, I decide that even though I usually like to have more armor, I'm going to take the mega health and control LG at the moment because both lights are going to be up. What is it? This light is at 23, I think. So by the time I get the mega and get LG ammo, both light armors will be up. So that means that if I went to the heavy side, he's going to spawn at like machine gun or nail gun, and he's going to get armor, mega, and an LG anyway, and he's going to have dual wield, and he'll have an extra armor to position for. So it would give him a really good chance to equalize control and try to get back into the game. So right now I'm like, okay, well, if I can't gain control with the items at the moment and we're going to be equal on it, then let me just try to deny weaponry from him and see if he oversteps his bounds trying to get a rocket or trying to get an LG, and I can see if I can trap him. So I know that mega and heavy are likely around the same time. And so now I'm just trying to catch him out. But the thing is, I know that he's like waiting for a fight and to back off onto the armor, so I don't want to take anything that overexposes myself, because if I deal like 100 damage rocket, but I take like 100 plus damage right now, I have nothing to back onto, whereas he does. So the fight will almost be as if it never happened for him, whereas it'll be a negative EV value for me. Oh, excuse me for that. So I made him pop it, and right now, the only reason that I kept encroaching there was because he was moving into a bad position, and I could deal more than that 100 damage. And if he tries to push me, he's pushing through a choke, and I have a shit ton of grenades left that I can hold the choke with shotgun grenades or rocket grenades, and it's going to punish him for trying to dual wield. So I know that he picks that up. I'm trying to listen out for where he is, where he's going.
Sorry to interrupt. Hail to the king, baby.
Oh, thanks for the resub. I'll get to it. I'll get to it later. So here, I do a good job of catching him on which exit he's going to take here as he went to the machine gun, and this should be a good fight for me. Now, what I fuck up with is I don't just drop instantly. If I just drop and I stall him, he can't escape. The way for him to escape is to really overexpose himself. I should be able to get the items. But here I'm trying to read him a little too well and trying to get a kill and then everything. Whereas I should just kind of let control happen. I do a lot of damage here, and I know he's so weak. I'm like, okay, right now I need to switch weapons because he might be backing out of LG range and he has machine gun. So I switched to machine gun, which is the smart move to do. And I just don't hit it somehow. So I don't hit it. He hits like 4 or 5 bullets in a row. He gets the kill. And it sucks that I don't go up 3-0, but it's not the end of the world, because what items are coming up at the same time? Mega and heavy. And as he's weak there, grabbing the Mega, it won't be to its maximum value of 175 health. So he gets that, I get the stack, so now I'm looking to push and to punish him again. Because I know that off the respawn, I am 125, like 200. I'm fucking ready to go. So if he steps in the wrong spots, even I have machine gun, grenades, and shotgun to fight. He has to respect my stack, and if he doesn't, he's gonna die. So now I'm pushing to fight because I have all of this armor. If he holds this ground, he's going to die, and then I'll have armor to back off onto. Is what he does. He deals a lot more damage than expected, but it's okay. I pick up the armor. I'm almost at the default armor stack. I grab the health, and I'm still doing all right. He wisely chooses to go for LG while I go for checking the armors. So like as I said, as players have been doing, they stream through lower to try to get it and to get out quickly. So I deal a lot of damage, but I don't remember if I managed to find him and kill him here. No, looks like I don't. So I opt to go for all the armor again. So I'm like, okay, I didn't find him. I didn't pick the right door, etc. Door number 1, door number 2 to find him and kill him. So I'm going to try to maximize my control right now and get all the armor and then cut him off from the rest of it. So we're going to fight here. He deals a shit ton of damage. I'm trying to back off. This is just it's just amazing aim from him to get this kill. Because I thought even with my armor stack, etc., and him dual wielding, I should be able to like trade out well enough. But he hit literally 100% LG, and my aim kind of faltered in that fight, and that's what cost me. I would take the fight again, but this is just one of those. This is what Venger does, man. Venger lights you up. So he brings it back, but he's still weak, so I can fight for control. So I bring the kill back, get the armor, and now I'm trying to figure out where he's going. I hear him at Mega, so I'm like, okay, I can't contest that because it's too risky to go through the door and take a bad rocket, and then like I lose all of my stack, and then he gets Mega and then maybe gets LG and chases me down before the heavy. So it's better to just trade the items again. Just, okay, give him Mega health, let me take the heavy, and we'll work from there. And I know he likely isn't going to have dual wield back again because we just fought over it, and he hasn't had enough time to go for all the vials. And here, there's just amazing prediction from him on like where I'm going to peek, what areas I'm going to hold to try to spam and like punish him as he takes that. And he played around that very, very well. And he managed to hit 2 really sick rockets, which give him the frag. And this is dangerous. Like, that's really dangerous for him to do. Now it's made him really weak again, and I'm going to take all of the armor on that side of the map. He used dual wield, so now he doesn't have dual wield to defend this. So that's why I'm just rushing through. Like, I don't have to be scared here.
Whoop.
So I'm securing position on the side of the map with the other armor. I'm taking all of that shit from him. And now I'm playing a little careful because I know like certain positions he likes to play, and it plays really heavily for rocket spam and trying to hold chokes. So I'm trying to find where he is and like bait him to move away and then try to close in with the kill. And just do it slowly. Like I don't have to. I still have the lead. Like I don't have to have the pressure to like do anything stupid to get a kill. So again, I've taken all the armor. We're gonna like fight for this shit again. I'm like holding out and trying to bait out the dual wield as long as I can. And even though I don't get the kill there, it's fine. I follow up with some good damage. Damage myself to take the armor again. And it's just one of those, like, eventually this shit is going to happen. Like, I'm going to get the kill. He doesn't have enough items. He's been taking some really risky fights to try to hold on to control, instead of, like, giving it up for a cycle and then playing the slow game. And then we'll be on equal footing. He's like trying to keep up with the tempo rather than reading the fact that he really shouldn't be holding certain fights. So I know where he is. I'm trying to catch him out here. then I picked that he's just going to take the predictable route and just go low, and I managed to get a clean kill. So now I'm going to collect this armor again. Then I'm going to go through banana, and I'm going to take the heavy, and then we're going to try to fight in the middle here. And he's doing a shit ton of damage, man. So now I'm just waiting on health. Like, it's okay. Like, I don't need to push anywhere. Need to just try to like damage him after this armor, and if I die, it's okay. We'll go back to being like 5-4, but I need to make sure that he's weak. So it's either play super safe and wait for the heavy, or all in and try to make him weak and then get control back. Amazing rocket. Like, there's nothing I can do about that. So now I'm like, okay, whatever. It's 5-4, and I'm going to get control. He'll be 100-100. But I'll have LG, rocket available right away, and I can already like cess him down. And he's doing a smart thing here, not collecting the light armor. Because he's 75-100, it would only be worth 25 when it could be worth 50. And with the BJ passive, if he takes some damage, he should be able to heal up a little bit anyway, making it even more valuable. So he's doing the right thing right now to try to get the score to be tied and to get enough control to get a kill. He's trying to look for me and deal some damage and then fall back onto the item. Really good damage from him. And now he's looking really pretty for the next set of items. And so even though I got the Mega last time, I know the heavy time, because I knew he had to move towards one or the other after the frag. So I know when shit's coming up. So I'm just playing off of sound, like pick one. Pick one and I'll go for the other. And so he goes to the heavy. I go to the Mega. I collect LG. And so now I hear him pop dual wield, so now I'm like just covering myself and installing him. Where did the sound go? Okay, well, the sound's out for whatever reason. Maybe that was on the live stream as well. Yeah, here, so I've just been looking to, let's go back up. So here, I'm just trying to make it out. I take a lot of damage, but that nade makes me think that I can turn this shit around. Because if he goes to the jump pad, he's going to be predictable coming up, and I can get more damage off than he does. And that there's a health bubble there, so I go to take the armor. I'm looking for his escape, see if I can deal extra damage. I went to potentially like catch him sticking around, being scared to leave. He ends up dealing a lot of machine gun damage here, and I'm probably gonna die. Yeah, okay, I die. But the successful thing about dying there is he's not gonna be too healthy. He can't get both heavy and mega, and that's what as Keel the entire game I need to avoid. I need to avoid BJ becoming this 175 dual wielding bully who can then like kill me, force me to respawn somewhere bad, make me weak, and or kill me again and again. So as long as I'm contesting for control and making sure that he can't get both, things will be okay in the long run. It's playing the percentages over the long run of the course of the game. Okay, so he grabs heavy, I grab mega. And here I'm just trying to do battle. Kind of really have no choice here but to take this little fight. I know that the other armor comes up first. He decided to back off to this side for some reason. So now that gives me the chance to get a rocket, get center position on the map before the next majors. See how I'm not like over pressing like his rockets? I'm not just like super predictably moving in. Like I'm trying to like think about how he's thinking I'm going to move into the room and trying to buy space to potentially get the kill and not take like a rocket to the face. So I almost kill him, but it's okay. I take the light armor. I know that I can't really fight for heavy, so I'm just trying to like gain the timing on it. I deal some nice splash so that he's not super healthy now. And he'll collect it, and I'll have about a rough guesstimate of when it is, between like 7 and 9. So I know the timing on Mega. This is going to be the next item to play for. I'm a bit more stacked than he is. And for some reason, he's thinking that he can push this area even though I have grenades, and he pays the price. And a good weapon to dual wield against Keel is Super Shotgun, but he doesn't have it in this fight. Like if you're going to go up close against him, you don't really want to use dual wield rockets like you do against others because he takes reduced splash, and then there's the chance that you're splashing yourself as well. So he's taking less damage from the rockets, and you're hurting yourself. And just the more that closer that you move in, you might take like splash damage from, a grenade combo. So he tries to push back in here, and I hit him with the 150, the direct rocket to direct nade combo. And so that's horrible for him because it would be just one thing if he went for the kill there and he died and still had dual wield, but he used his ability and got no value out of it. So he dies, he gets nuked. So now even though, I'm not the healthiest, I have guns, and I know that he can't dual wield with machine gun or starting shotgun off the start. So that's why I looked for him first. Couldn't find him. He chose the right area to leave immediately off the spawn. So I was like, fine, let me go back and get the armor. Then I'll rush back into here again. And I'll take this armor again. And now I'm going for the full armor cycle again and see if he's going to hold firm over there with like super shotgun and see if I can get the kill, because I pretty much know the timing of it. So I start moving in, and he accepts defeat, so that's fine. I just deal a little damage to like make sure that he has no armor afterwards. And so now we're gonna fight here. And I just fucking missed 2 point blank grenades. Let's watch this again. So I go into this fight, have every reason to do it. We're fighting, everything's looking good. And then I run out of LG ammo, and what I should have done is when I got to about 10 to 20 ammo and I'm moving up the steps, my mistake was not switching to shotgun. I have to switch to shotgun or machine gun, not rockets in this situation since we're both weak. I don't want to hurt myself and kill myself. I should have switched weapons here, and that probably would have led to me getting the kill and then further, my lead and control. But since I mess up with that and run out of ammo and I don't hit the point blank grenades, he gets the frag here. And it's one of those where I should be continuing the lead now rather than it being a stalemate again and just trying to get the lead. So I'm looking to punish him. I do, and the only reason I'm sticking this out, and I know there's like no sound right now, but he is making the scream that he's below 25 health. So I know that even though I could take a lot of damage from dual wield, it's more likely that I'm going to finish him off before he does enough to make me pay. And that'll make it so that, again, he's dead, he doesn't have ability, and I can get control again. So I finish it off with, machine gun first and switching to shotgun to like just peek and deal damage instead of overexposing myself. I know that this gives me time to get the light, get LG, and then what I need to do from here, since I'm not afraid of him rushing in with dual wield shotgun, is I need to get positioned to figure out, okay, is he going to play for heavy or is he going to come in for Mega and LG and try to like just trade damage and take the opposite right now? Because I can't get both. So I cover lower, get the Mega, and I'm like, all right, now it's time to go to Rocket, start securing position. And he's like very boldly moving towards the center of the map to fight with starting machine gun, when he should know I have heavy machine gun. It was actually a very big risk that he took to try to trade some damage there. But I guess he's feeling the pressure since he hasn't been able to, any kill that he's gotten, he hasn't been able to get full control. So he's trying to like play a little cheekier now to maybe catch me off guard and see if he can change the tide of the game. So now I'm just trying to zone him and like hold distance, but somehow he just like, he dealt a shit ton of damage again, like moving in. So he comes through here. I don't really hit any spam. He starts moving in with shotgun, and he dealt like what, like 60 damage from like from mid-range from just one shot. And so he's going to continue to move in. I just have to try to deal as much damage as I can here and hope that the next shot from this range doesn't deal over 75. Well, it deals 80 and it kills me. So I did what I could there. He got really lucky with the shotgun damage from the range that he was shooting. It's not that it was a bad weapon choice from him. Just he literally got the absolute maximum value from the spread that he could in back-to-back shots. So now he's much healthier than he should be. This should be a situation where he's like at the most 100 health, 50 armor if he gets the kill. But being 100 is like really, really fortunate there. So he's got guns again. He's tied the game. He's going to play for heavy, which is the smart thing, so that he can get the armor stack, and I won't have the armor stack. And now I'm just trying to work my way out of LG. I guess incorrectly on where he's going to be, but during the fight, for some reason, See how I messed up with the weapon selection earlier at LG? This is a big mistake from him. So he moves in. He moves in, which is what he should be doing, is taking center control to figure out where I am. He starts catching me here before, like, he just moved into the room so fast on my screen. Like, I thought he might even be, like, coming from over here. He's just there and he's fighting me. So he's dealing a shit ton of damage. I'm trying to fight back a little bit as, like, you know, deal some damage, and if I take too much, I've got health and shit to fall back on. I just don't want to let him get a bunch of damage for free, and then he chases me down and kills me. And then here, he has 106 LG ammo. Like, he should just keep that gun out and just hold the distance, like, near the archway behind him, so that he could keep dealing damage. But he decides to switch to rockets, which gives me a chance to, like, push and dodge them and just keep shooting the shit out of him. So I damage him by a shit ton, and then I switch to machine gun, and I'm at a range where it's difficult to hit rockets. I'm dodging and weaving as he shoots them. So for some reason, he panic switched to rockets in a really bad situation to use the RL, where he had other guns which he could have been much more effective with, and it gave me a clean kill, which really shouldn't have happened at this point in the game. So now I go this way because I know the armor's coming up, and then, okay, so he's rushing me here off the spawn. He must think I'm weaker than I am, but I held that position because I knew when I died in the fight before that he collected the light armor right after. So that's what I'm fighting for there, is the light armor, and then figure out what's going on and take mega or heavy. So now I was like looking to maybe cut him off in the middle. He decides to go for the light, so I'm positioning for the heavy, and I'm just looking to cut off the easiest entrance for him to deal effective damage, and if he pushes too far, I'll kill him. If not, he'll just back off to mega anywhere. So I make sure that I get LG ammo since I'm low on it. I'm going to collect this, and then I need to go cut off the center of the map. Okay, so I hear him leave, so that lets me know, okay, he left this way, and he panicked. He didn't want to get caught at LG, so that means mega is like 14. And I catch him coming back to LG. He thought I'd left the area to go to like rocket or something. So I catch him with a big rocket. Now I'm just looking to maybe get the kill on, and I just take the win here. I'm like, oh, he popped dual wield. Fine, you're popping dual wield at a situation where I'm not even going to pressure you, and you're going to get absolutely no value out of it. So I'm just going to back off. I'm going to get rockets, and I'm going to get ready for the next rotation. So I'm cutting him off again. I'm restocking on LG. And I'm just kind of accepting that, okay, he's probably going to get mega, but it's fine. I just need to keep super stacked and start playing for zones where, like, if he pushes me, he's going to pay the ultimate price. So here, just trying to figure out, there's a few options. He's probably gone low, and he's going to loop back to nail. He's going to watch it come through the portal, or he's going to loop back to rocket. So I'm holding this position to either see him at one of the two, or hear him pick up rocket, and then I rotate and then make it difficult for him to push me. He starts pushing in the middle. I start taking this fight because I know I'm super stacked and I have a health bubble to fight with, which makes my armor more effective. And I just cover the easiest angle for him to pursue, and as soon as I hit that, I'm like, boom. I step back into the room, try to finish the kill, and that should lock the game up right there. And so since I moved to go get the LG ammo to defend myself for the next 30 seconds, I figured, okay, he might spawn at rocket since I'm on the other half of the mega health. So that's why I didn't just rush towards the armor, because if he rushed from rocket there, it could make a really messy fight, and then I give up a kill and give him a chance to get in the game. So that's why I took my time. I'm trying to listen to where he's going and just go the opposite way and just defend myself. Okay, so here I just cut off the center of the map, and at that point, the reason why I decided to fight this is because as I'm moving through here, that rocket kind of like stumbled me. And so I know as soon as I see him here, if I start trying to continue to run backwards and don't focus on shooting, it's going to make me very easy to hit, and he will likely get the kill. So I just need to focus on damage and trying to kill him. I do. And so I'm like, okay, now I just need to try to get heavy. I should be able to hold out with three frags. Even if he kills me, it should be fine. Just make sure he doesn't get the heavy while he does it. Then here I deny the mega so that even if he gets the kill, he's not going to be healthy to force a spawn, and the game should be over. Like, The big mistake from him was that fight near the Mega where he just switched to Rocket when he didn't need to. He just needed to keep out Lightning Gun. If he kept out LG, everything would have been A-okay for him. I wouldn't have been able to follow up with more damage with Lightning Gun, bobbing and weaving through his rockets, and then switching to Machine Gun at the perfect range where he thinks that he's out of LG range, but I already anticipated the pushback from the LG to do that, and then I'm just dodging his rockets again, because, again, I'm at the range where it's difficult to hit from. And that got me the win from there. Like, there were a few fights, like, earlier on in the game that I probably should have won, but that's the biggest turning point of the game right there that cost him. Any reason I didn't drop from rockets to get the Tribolt health? Because, so when I was up 3 there, I knew that he might rush off the spawn. And like I said, the biggest thing at that point when you're up 3 with that much time left is you can't let him get the kill since you're so weak and get the heavy. So it was one of those where, like, if he kills me, it's fine, but he can't be super stacked trying to force respawns. So that's why it was very important for me to just grab the one bubble that I could, grab the heavy, and if he wasn't able to rush me off the spawn, great, then I collect the health and I just try to survive. There it was just better to guarantee that if my life is traded, that he gets the least value out of the items on the map. And again, like, then once I respawned at Machine Gun, I was like, okay, I can't let him try to get me stuck in here and take the Mega. So since he didn't get the heavy and I dealt a little damage, I was like, okay, I have a 2 frag buffer with 10 some seconds left. Let me take the Mega, force him to fight within Machine Gun range the whole time. And so even if he gets the kill, he can't kill me off the spawn. I'm going to be way too stacked as Keel. He's not going to have enough health and armor to do it. Doesn't matter if I win by 1 frag or 3 frags at this point, as long as I win. And it guarantees that he won't be able to do it at the end. So why do I think he switched to Rocket? Possibly panic, but he's just so comfortable with using rockets, like I said, on that map, that I think it's like a comfort thing for him. So yeah, I think it was just a panic switch, you know, an unfortunate one. Like, we all fuck up with weapon switches every now and then. Like I said, at the LG fight not too long before that, I should have switched to shotgun when my LG ammo was getting a little low. In that situation, that's one of those where no, you hold firm with the gun that you have, and you don't switch, etc. So, okay, let's get this paused right before Molten Falls. Okay, let's skip through here. And then I need a quick little break. I just need to get some water, help keep my throat hydrated through all this talking, etc. So I'll just need like 3 minutes. All right. If you guys, we got people mowing the lawn outside, so I'm sorry. The mic should have enough noise, like gate and cancellation, etc., that you shouldn't hear it. But if you hear lawnmower going, I can't really help that right now. So shit's gotta be done, you know. Damn it! I spent all that time, and I come back, and now I get an eyelash in my eye instead of it being before, so that I can just take care of it. Now I have to awkwardly waste more time. Oh man. Okay, I think I got it. Okay. So let's bring back capture. Okay, so in this matchup, what you're looking to do as Scale Bearer is get the death cycle going, because as good as Ranger's mobility is with rocket jumping around and the orb, like Scale Bearer's stomping around ability, just plus forwarding around the map, is pretty damn good. And how quickly you can end up moving around the map if you take the right fights and you can just literally cycle everything on the map, you just become this unkillable tank. Because even though Ranger, you know, has the orb and can deal with your charge, he has to deal so much damage to even attempt to deal with you, and most of the time then you use your charge to just secure the items anyway, and so then you get even beefier, and it's like, holy shit, he's like hitting me so hard, and he's reducing damage, and he's taking everything. So you just want to be this, you know how everybody described Cooler as Pac-Man? You want to play Scale Bearer as Pac-Man. That's really what you want to do. You want to run around and then you want to pretend he's a flashing blue and white ghost. You just want to fucking stomp on him. You just want to crush him over and over again. That's what you want to do. That's your game plan as Scalebearer. As Ranger, you want to keep your distance. You want to rail the shit out of him. Rail, heavy machine gun cess first. Take good positioning. A good fight for Ranger in this matchup is to hold nail gun while Scale is down on the heavy. Because then Scale can't use his charge to potentially deal damage to you or force your orb out for escape. So you want to hold that high ground against him. Same with being above the Mega. So you want to hold high ground as Ranger as often as possible. Unfortunately, so you know how some people sometimes they'll like hold position at the portal defensively. They'll wait for somebody to go through, then they'll rocket them, and then they'll go through the portal to try to go to railgun. That's very, very dangerous in this matchup as Ranger because Scale can so easily enter the portal, turn right around and go through, and there's such a great chance to get telefragged as Ranger that you don't want to hold there. And then even if that happens and then you both go through the portal down here, he'll still have charge to chase after you, whether you go towards the jump pad or you go towards the health, or you're trying to go through the portal again. It's just a really shitty fight that normally works out for Ranger against almost everybody else, but Scale, you don't want to do that. And that'll come into play later in the game, and I'll explain why later. But let's go ahead and get started. Why did it... Don't get off full screen. What are you doing? Just play. Thank you. All right, so I take the rocket, I go over and cut off the railgun because he's likely spawned on the shotgun, so he's going to do one of two things. He's, excuse me, he's going to rush towards, the rail with just shotgun and orb, and I'm going to be 125, 100 with charge and rockets in a close range fight compared to 125 and 50. So if he does that, I'll likely be able to steal everything and either charge kill him or charge past him and then take the heavy from him. And then guess what? Then I would cut him off at the Mega because I'd go get LG, and then either we all in fight at the armor and I'm likely going to win, or he just leaves and I just deny it to him anyway. So he does the smart thing in this champion matchup to not come to the rail first. He decides to just take the heavy. So it's very good from him. So I realized that. I move back and I'm like, all right, let me just take Mega. And I don't go up the pad because I know that he's likely gone to LG and that side. So as I've gone through or about to go through the portal, I hear his footsteps up here, so I instantly get ready to try to trade damage with him. And so right now I think the best thing to do is just heavy machine gun him since I outstack him by so much. And I catch him, you know, not expecting me ready to fight, and I deal a lot, and I'm gaining position. I catch him on the double back right here, and I'm looking to kill him. I don't have LG, but man, how the fuck did he deal that much damage? Like, let me watch that again. So I'm 160, 115. And in the blink of an eye, I'm 112, 23. Like, what is that shit? Like, this happens for me, like from my point of view, and it happens against me sometimes. There's every now and then, and I don't know why it happens, but when you're playing against high ping, so like right now this is on the NA server, whereas the previous one was on the EU. Sometimes the player with high ping, LG, feels like it counts faster than usual. And so you get situations where it's literally hitting faster than it should, and you just get melted. It's like no matter where you were, what you were dodging, you just get destroyed by it. And it's like I've experienced like playing and having that, and you just feel unstoppable with LG. And then there's other games where it's like, okay, well, no matter what I do, I can't dodge. And then there's times where it doesn't do that, and it feels, you know, pretty normal. Like you may take a few ticks behind corners every now and then, but it feels like normal damage output. So he deals a shit ton of damage here. And right now, I shouldn't have even tried to rail him. I should have just like charged through the portal on my way to heavy and like escaped because he doesn't have rail yet. But I decided to try to rail and deal damage. And at this point, like I've taken all this damage, like just don't even charge. Shane, please, if I go back in time, don't charge. Listen to me. I somehow missed the rail again. I miss another rail, and I decided to charge like an idiot. So the beginning of pain starts. So I know he hasn't used orb yet, which is why I don't rush onto the heavy. If he hadn't used orb, I would have just went to the heavy right away. But I know I have to respect it. And so I just go up, take LG. I look to take a fight here, maybe knock him off with the push, which that forces the orb, so that's fine. He goes over, takes the Mega, so I just need to play a little slow here. Take safer routes, in which I do, and I'm trying to catch him at the armor. And I deal a lot of damage. And so here I was just looking to trade my life because I know the armor over here at rail should be coming up. Because what happened was I dealt a damage at heavy, but I didn't deal enough that he should be able to collect it. So if I win the fight, we're going to be tied. If I lose, I should get control. So now I spawn over by rail. I'm looking to get guns before the heavy. I'm railable, but I should be able to make it over. And I take too long to get there. And so now he gets full control off of hitting 2 rails, even though one should have just crippled him. And I didn't hit enough damage. And here, this was me misanticipating his position. I thought that based off of where he was when I was over there and where I heard him, that he would probably be here by the time that I get to Mega. And so that's why this kill is so clean and so disastrous for me. Whereas if we take a fight here and it's messy, it's going to end up creating the scenario where even though he's getting some kills, it's going to create that death cycle that I can just keep running. But the misjudgment from me here on trying to get this back cost me so much. He didn't have to use orb. He barely took any damage, and he's going to be so stacked here, and there's so much time before the heavy. So he collects that, he collects the light, and he's doing what he should. He's trying to fight over here by the rail. And then, unfortunately, on my screen, I ran right into him. And sometimes, like, with the weird ping matchups with Skill Bearer, charge gets kind of buggy. So even though on my screen I ran into him, you could see from the spectator point of view, we weren't together. He dodged it. So that leads me to dealing no damage to him. So instead of that being another situation where he should take a lot of damage from Nail and the charge, because if he takes the charge there, he gets like popped up in the corner and I can deal more damage. He gets another clean kill. Now we both don't have our ability. And so here he knows as soon as he sees the LG gone that I went underneath. I'm trying to fight him head up here at the armor again since I got a favorable spawn. Good damage from him. I'm just trying to get away to maybe take the Mega here, because I can't let him get it for free again. We fight here. I at least deal enough damage that he's not going to be 100-100. Now, in this game, with how it's going disastrously wrong for me, in my mind I'm like, okay, this is really rough. I haven't been dealing a lot of damage in these fights. He's got a couple clean kills, but I have 8 minutes. As long as I don't let the game get to like the point where he has like an 8 frag lead in this matchup, I have enough mobility with Skill Bearer that if I get the right circumstances, I can come back into this game. So right now I'm like, okay, I did make him really weak as he grabbed the Mega. I just need to keep sticking to my guns. I need to keep fighting for the next item cycle. I'm going to have charge back because I'm going to get this shit, like the vials over here, and I should be able to contest for control now. I catch him here. I missed the charge again, even though I guess on my screen I went right into him, but it like put me through him. And so then I die for free. So now it's 6. It's getting closer to that 8 number. And he takes this. But I take position to deny him easy access to the heavy. And the good thing about this kill is I force him to orb. So now I'm at a decent stack. I have good guns. I'm running over towards the Mega. He runs over to contest this, and I know I might die, but I need to deal max. Again, I can't let him get it for free. I have to deal max damage and end up getting the full cycle, especially since I'm so far behind. So he kills me. He's pretty weak again. But I know I have a lot of time before the next heavy to go on. So I go to get rockets. And I only hit 1 rail in another predictable fight, so we're getting closer to 8. It's 7 now. Honestly, if he gets another kill, the game should probably be over, as long as he plays it correctly with how hard he's been hitting. So I get another good spawn, and I can rush it down. I get the kill, and I'm going to be pretty stacked here. So now this time, I know I'm not going to be able to beat him to the Mega. So now's the point where I can deny the armor that's after and maybe punish him exiting the Mega Health. So that's my job right here. Get more LG ammo, move into position. Okay, so I see him there. And I just miss a fucking easy shot again. I'm just like, man. But after this situation right here, I just took a deep breath and I was like, okay. I was like, now I have to slow down just a little bit. I'm like, man, just collect yourself and just take a split second longer with your shots because you have to be dealing all the damage you can. You've been missing so many key, like easy shots so far, and that's why you're in the situation that you're in right now. And in my head, I'm like, I can still do this. I can still contest for all of this. I can still try to get control back. It's still a possibility in this game if the right circumstances happen. So I'm not even in a situation where I'm tilting and trying to give up. It's just that rail would have actually done a lot right there. So here, I'm leaving the armor up because if this situation goes badly, like I said, I don't want the score to get to like being down 8 with half the game left. So as long as I keep it within this range up until the 5-minute mark, things should be okay. So I need to kind of play a little tentatively now for this heavy. So I do. I secure a shotgun first, get this, and now I need to try to look to damage the Mega. He's over here, so I know, okay, now I could go get this. And there I was so scared I was going to just get fucking knocked out of the map. I take so much damage here. The RJ's up top. You've been missing so... It's just that rail would have actually done a lot right there. So here, I'm leaving the armor up because if this situation goes badly, like I said, I don't want the score to get to like being down 8 with half the game left. So as long as I keep it within this range up until the 5-minute mark, things should be okay. So I need to kind of play a little tentatively now for this heavy. So I do. I secure a shotgun first, get this, and now I need to try to look to damage the Mega. He's over here, so I know, okay, now I could go get this. And there I was so scared I was going to just get fucking knocked out of the map. I take so much damage here. The RJ's up top. I'm checking to see if he doubled back. And here I can play to try to steal the armor because I have charge. So he makes a mistake here in going up the jump pad when he did. I deal good damage, and now I'm like, okay, there's such a long time between heavy and mega. This is the chance that I need. I need to make this shit work and keep this control for the rest of the game. I'm looking to kill him because I have so much time between mega that it's like I have to start lowering the lead now. It's going to be a bit of a gamble to go up this jump pad, but I have the charge. I need to go for this. So I take a lot of damage, but I secure the kill. And I'm like, it's going to be okay because I'm going to collect the 2 health bubbles here and then the mega, which will make it so I'm at 175 health. So it'll make me pretty beefy still, and he might overcommit for something. The health is still gone from the previous engagement, so I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to work out as well as I planned. So I just have to take this and make do. Here, I have to fight all in at this point. And take this from him. And it's actually worse that I killed him here. I've done so much of this shit in the game where I've died, but there, in all reality, I should have just let him kill me again, because then I'm going to spawn over at rail with a stack, and even though it would have been a 5-point game, I would have been able to contest for full control, whereas now I have to hope for a miracle. Like, I have like almost no health, I have to try to deal a bunch of damage and die while he collects the item. So getting the frag there isn't as big as like getting the control to potentially get multiple frags back. So here, he's trying to just kill me with machine gun, and he takes a shit ton of damage. So that's good. That's good for me. I did my job before the heavy to make sure that he's not super, super stacked. I try to catch him out here at the railgun. I'm doing good damage, but he just, again, crazy rockets to rail combo. Doesn't take as much LG as I anticipated, and he gets another kill. Thankfully, I get the mega, and I get it after I'm railed, which is really important because now my health is still, I'm very healthy still. So here I just used the charge to like force shit out, secure the frag, and get the heavy again. And now I'm down 5. So now I know that I'm likely not going to be able to secure Mega, so I have to damage it. So I get the charge, clearing areas, looking to see if he's still up here. If he's not, I'm moving up here, listening for him. Okay, he makes it underneath me to the rail. So now I need to make it over to the heavy, try to secure the next heavy if I can. And thankfully I cut him off, because I know that with his stack, he's probably going to try to contest and get control and end the game again, like get enough of a lead where he can end it. And thankfully I was in his head enough to know that he's going to not take the predictable route and make it a 50-50 fight at the portal behind me or like underneath at rail and take a bunch of bad damage. He's going to circle around. So I catch him with a rail, and that makes him, since he doesn't have an orb, second guess himself, and he's going to leave. So now I pick up the heavy, and my job is to rush over to the Mega Health. I know I have charge. Even if he has orb, it's okay. I hear him moving, and so now I know that he's not really that healthy to try to kill me, so I need to try to deal damage here and trade before I pick up the Mega, because he can't get past me. I fuck up my movement, so I have to just accept the second best thing. I'm like, okay, I'll back off on the Mega again. I'll get super stacked. Clearing this area, trying to clear rail now. And I know that this armor is going to be up. I knew that he collected the other one. I need to just try to take advantage of the damage reduction from charge here. I need to have a good fight. I need to make this work for me because it's about to be a 5-frag lead. It's still a 5-frag lead with him with about 4 minutes left. I have to make this work to get the armor and then get to heavy and then keep this rolling. So this is the fight that we're going to take. And here, it's taken 5 minutes, but I'm finally hitting like normal. I'm starting to get my aim back as the course of this game goes on. So here, I bully him out of the way. He decided to save orb to be defensive with the lead, it's not a bad decision. It's fine. So now I keep shooting LG to cover my angle, and this is a big mistake here. He thought that even after all that damage that he dealt, that I would keep pushing, and he wastes his orb. That's really bad there. He needed to hold on to that. Regardless of whether he died, he needed it off the respawn, etc., or for the next fight. Okay, so I hear him pick up that armor, but I'm really concerned about securing this Mega. I have to get this going. Okay, so now I'm RJing to be unpredictable to try to rush through this zone because this is a very defendable spot for Ranger because it's a rocket area. Ranger really likes to fight with rockets, etc. So I'm trying to come in here with speed to catch him off guard. Catch him with LG again, and now here I charge, and I know even if I don't hit him, I have to curve myself. I'm going to curve myself at the very possible second. On my screen, it doesn't show this here in the spectator point of view, but on my screen I hit him, the charge stopped, and then the charge started again. So I was having a lot of crazy packet loss bullshit in this game, and so that's why I awkwardly run back in here, because as soon as I hit him I thought it was over, but then it kept circling, it redid it. So he blows himself up after the damage, and now I know I can get this, and I go back over to the heavy. And thankfully, that rocket right there, if I don't hit that rocket, he's going to orb and all in. He'll orb onto the heavy. It could become messy. I might not get it. I might die. But that rocket right there opens the door again for the full control and the comeback. So now in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, he might be panicking. He might, because he knows that the cycle is going to be really hard for him to get anything for the rest of the game, that I might be able to run the table with the map. You know, that whole Pac-Man scenario where I'm collecting everything. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's either going to be sitting above the Mega here, he's going to hide somewhere, or he's going to hide right below the Mega. So as I go to the Mega, I'm going to clear it. I'm going to anticipate that he's already trying to do this shit. I catch him, he orbs, and he messes up. He's literally going for some all-in shotgun orb shotgun play. And since I moved in fast enough and cleared the area properly and was anticipating it, it allowed me to get the kill there. All right, well, everybody take a sip while we wait of whatever you got. Aflac. To to... Thank you, Jeff Goldblum. All right, now. So I get the kill, and I know I need to rush over to... I need to rush over to this side of the map to try to force him to not spawn on rail. I need to do my best to do that right now. It's a 50-50 toss-up. And so I'm clearing other areas to like listen for him right now. And I think I heard the rail pickup, so I was like, okay, I just have to give that up now, and I have to go back for this armor. Check it out. I come back to this area, and I'm like, okay, well, time is dwindling, and I really need to make something happen here. I'll get charge back, see what I can do. How the fuck does that hit? How does that hit? Let's watch it again. So I go in, securing charge, hit a rail. How the fuck does that hit? How do I not have enough time there to literally micro peek at the corner hit and be safe here? What was Scalebearer doing to fucking stanky leg and sticking his leg out there like, I bet you can't hit my big toe. Bet you can't hit it. Ugh! And now I'm dead. Scalebearer out here being a cocky little shit. So I die. So based off where he is, I'll likely spawn at LG or Rocket. Yep, him moving onto the armor allowed me to spawn right here. So now I know it's too dangerous at the moment because of his weaponry to spawn, to like go up the jump pad at LG. There's like a small percentage chance that he rails me at the right time and it knocks me back down the pad, so then I have to go up again. So here I'm just like, okay, I need to try to secure this shit from him since I know he doesn't have orb, and then I need to leave with charge. I still have enough time to bring this shit back. He hits 2 rails. I know the timing. I charge out with it. So I go to get Rocket, trying to clear this area. And here I'm having to start take little like extra risks. I'm having to fight for this. And I look at it like, okay, if I get the kill here, I'm down 3 and I have a chance to get control back. If I die, yes, I'll be down 5, but he'll be super weak after this. I just need to start making things happen. So I hit a great rocket to rail to end that. He hits a clutch rail. And now he just needs to just avoid me, is what he should be doing. Should be at really unpredictable areas and just avoid me. But off the spawn, I'm thinking, okay, where is he likely going to go? I think he's going to try to, he's going to try to listen out onto, he's not going to go to the center of the map to get the health because that's the first place I'll check from railgun. So he doesn't want to get railed there and die since he's railable. I think he's going to try to listen for the armor. So I was like, the first thing I'm going to do before getting this heavy is clear the LG because he's going to try to hear the pickup from there and going to try to run the other way. So I start clearing and boom. I'm just looking at the one spot he can be. Like he's just going to be waiting there to run and I just need to shoot. And I got lucky that he's holding that position and I get a free kill back. I don't take any damage and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is it. Let's do this. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get this armor because he's not going to spawn close. I'm going to take everything, and this is the time to do it. So now I have to all in for this mega. So I fake going the other way with sound. I drop down to pick it up, and this is what I wanted all game long. I wanted this stack, this rotation, so that he can't do shit. So I'm just trying to find him, trying my best to deal damage when I can. I take all of the armor again. I have 2 minutes to make 4 frags back. And so I fake going that way and I just have to try to mix things up and catch him out on like where he's going to try to escape. And I managed to catch him here at this archway. Shotgun, charge shotgun, and I get a really clean kill so I can keep this going. So now I'm going to go RJ up here to try to fight to try to get the vials again and to catch him if he spawns at rail because he might have spawned on the rail or above the portal. So he's either going to drop for it again and try to fight for it, or he's going to run to LG, and I'm just going to keep chasing him and running through the map. So here I need to make this fight work. And so during the fight, I'm like, okay, I think he's going to orb towards the doorway. So even though I could take big damage, I have to make this work for me, and I'm going to try to keep moving to the right because he's going to give himself an escape option. He's going to try to maximize the orb. So now I know that he might have spawned at LG because I wasn't able to move towards the portal fast enough. So here I know, okay, the armor comes first, and I need to slowly play this. I have some good spam, and I deal really good exit damage. And so now, in my mind, I'm like, okay, he's going to either rush the Mega and try to fight for control back because he doesn't want to give me the full cycle with 1 minute left and 2 frags. Because if I get another clean kill, I'm like almost guaranteed to bring it back. I was like, or he's going to play tentative and really try to play the rail game from here on out. But the option that I'm going to cover first, I'm going to race my ass to the Mega. Make sure that he doesn't cut me off this time like earlier in the game. So I catch him. He doesn't have orb to get on it. And here, during that fight, I just got the armor in the Mega. So as soon as we have this fight here, and I have charge, I know that I really need charge to come back in the rest of the game. But here it's so important to keep my stack because it's going to be a little while before this light armor comes up at rail. So as we take this fight and he's deciding to back off, I animation cancel by firing a rocket and charging at the same time. Even though I don't end up needing the charge to get the kill, it's the right play to make because what if I missed the rocket? I'm trying to give myself multiple options at success here. But it ends up hitting, so I start charging this way because guess what? I know this armor is before the heavy. So I try to force him away from rail. I'm holding this position to make sure that he's not like secretly trying to move in from LG, and I'm listening to see if he's going to come behind me to fight for rail. I don't hear anything. I go and collect this just to be safe. And I know that this is at my back. So I'm like, okay, I'll collect the Mega. I know the armors are up, so I'll have to try to catch him at one of them. I hear him pick this up, and at this point, it's very pivotal that I don't chase him here, because he's likely to deal a bunch of damage. This armor is gone, and I'm like, you know what? There are 30 seconds left, and I only need 1. If I needed 2 frags, I would go for this because I'm running out of time. I would have to hope that I pull off a miracle here. But I said to myself, okay, there is a big enough gap between heavy and Mega. I know that the other armor is up on the opposite side since he went for this one. He can't collect both since he spawns with 50 armor. I'm just going to go for that. I'm going to go for that, and then I'm going to go for heavy, and then I'll have charge. I'll be super stacked, and I'll see what I can do. And if I could push this into overtime, or like kill him right before, then Mega is spawning right then. So I should be able to have control going, and it's the best percentage opportunity for me to try to win the game. So I back off, try to preserve my stack as much as possible, and start working my way towards heavy. And so I come out with rail here at full speed to like clear right and left, shoot him if he shows up. I try to clear if he's hiding down below, and now I'm just buying myself time. I'm like, okay, if he shows up and peeks, he might miss me because I'm dodging around. But my whole plan here is that I'm gonna RJ up because he's likely at the spot where he actually is right now, or he's worked his way down below. But if I take the pad, it's going to take too much time. I have to rocket jump and give myself momentum with the scale bearer plus forward speed to try to clear him out in 15 seconds. Now, at the beginning, I told you, most players would play by the portal right now because then it would give them the option to go through and to leave. Playing against scale bearer like that is really difficult because if he gets to you, like let's say he was playing at Tribolt and I just am full speed ahead chasing him, I have so much mobility coming out of the portal that it's so hard to defend. And so that's why he's playing up close. And here he's thinking in his mind that I'm probably going to save my stack since he dealt a direct rocket earlier instead of rocket jumping up. Rocket jumping up and him holding his current position is what catches him off guard. So by the time that I'm up here and I'm going to carry my speed and momentum towards the archway to catch him, it's too late. He's reacted too slowly. If I went up the jump pad, this would be fine. But because I rocket jumped up. He's too far forward, and he's almost sealed his own fate. So he's already trying to fight, which I know I'm going to be able to peek the corner and start fighting him. And the best thing to do right now is to not rail, it's to LG. Because if you knock him off this high ground here, you could potentially get a lot of push. And so it'll force him to A. If he doesn't get the orb off, he'll potentially get knocked off the map. If he does orb, he's going to have to panic orb, and he's not going to be able to use it for a great escape. And I can chase him down with charge and get in range and try to tie the game. And fortunately for me here, because of the RJ up and he was a little too far forward thinking I would be up, like go up the jump head, it allows me to just literally hit everything, and it puts so much knockback to him, he just flies off the top. And so since he's like getting added units per second as he's falling as well, it just pushes him so much, and by the time he realizes he's going to fall off the map because he's trying to maximize the orb, it's too late. And so he uses the orb and can't activate it in time, and then he dies. So now that's worked out even better than it should. Like, I should be really weak, and the game should be tied right now from everything that happened. Now I'm like, okay, now I know, I'm still remember the timing and the cycle. So it's like, it's Mega first, then the armor at rail. So I'm going to get the Mega. I know this is coming up. I'm like, okay, he's going to be 100, like just a little bit above. But I'm going to be super stacked, and I have every right to go fight for the heavy. And I'm like, he's probably going to try to rail battle me, but I have charge here. So if things get hairy, I'll close the distance. So I cover my entrance here, cover like the likely area he's going to be to try to rail me, and I correctly predict that he looked to shoot and to leave rather than to shoot and to stay. And so he took a nice amount of damage. I spam a rocket, which stalls him. And that rocket, it's actually good that I didn't hit him. If I hit him with a direct, then that's awesome. But there are some times where you do a lot with the rockets that you don't hit. Sometimes it forces really awkward situations. And so there he decided to stall his movement, which gave me time to reach over here to potentially still aggress on him. Because he had to choose in his mind, do I jump into the rocket and risk taking splash and getting stuck, or do I wait it out and then jump through the archway? So because of that, I catch him with another rail. And here I know that heavy is coming up. I'm not going to try to like over pursue. I actually during the game thought that he was just maybe a little bit healthier than what he was. So I didn't want to give him the shot to like orb past me in some ridiculous fight and steal the heavy. So right here I'm like, okay, I think he's panicking and he's going to try to leave. I'm going to try to fake him out and catch him. So I RJ up top thinking he might be going through the portal, like through the jump pad down below and to the health. So I'm listening out for him, and I hear that he didn't go that way, and he went back. So what's the worst thing that can happen right now if I go all in thinking that he's at the health? That he doesn't go to the health, and he doubles back, and he steals the heavy for free. And all of the good work that I just did is for naught. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I have charge. I'm just going to get super stacked again and look to catch him. So I take the armor. I'm clearing areas, trying to like fake my way around the map, take unpredictable routes, and use sound. So I catch him. He's just trying to listen out for me. He's just in a really bad situation right now. He has to take a few risks to try to get a good sound cue and to go the correct route. But it's tough against skill bearers since he can instantly turn around. And you can like fake sound like where you're at and like catch people off guard. And so here I catch him, and I know it's time. It's time to go for this win because the Mega is up right now, and I know that. So either I follow him and kill him going to the Mega, or I chase him trying to leave. Because the armor, he's not going to be able to pick it up because I know, if you looked back at the beginning of overtime, I'm like running around for a little bit, waiting to pick it up as he picked up the other armor. So I know he can't get it. So now is the time to chase, and it makes shit happen. As he throws the orb here, I took a rail, but it's reduced. It's no big deal. Here, I cancel the charge since it's halfway over. Fake to go the other way. And this is just one of those situations where I've watched Wenger enough, and I know that he's one player who uses the orb more often to fake than to actually take it. He's like created this habit that's worked really well in the EU scene where he almost never takes the orb, but just creates doubt in people's minds. And so I all in commit to chasing him. And he didn't take the orb. It's too late. So now it's time to chase him down and to kill him. And I've got all the stack in the world. This is the best opportunity. I cannot let him get away. Even though he's going to collect the health, it should be no big deal. But he almost kills me. He almost kills me, even though he was 56 health versus almost 200.
That was the most clutch game I think we've seen in terms of deficit and coming back in the Quake Pro League. That was it. I mean,
and 40's right. That's the largest comeback I've made in the QPL matches so far. I've had a crazy game or two in practice before, but that's I think was down 7 with however much to go or whatever, and managed to come back. Roof, yeah, yeah, exactly. Red silencer. There's a little cloud. The thing was, Wootsy, is he was so afraid of me continuing that cycle, that death cycle that I had, that he wouldn't be able to hold on to even 2 frags because of it. I know that's why he did it. He didn't think that he would be able to run out the rest of the game because he wasn't going to be able to get any items if he just tried to stay alive there, and that I would eventually catch him. So I know it's a big risk what he did, but I know why he decided to make it. And like I said, I just needed to be prepared in that situation if he tried to rush the Mega, and I was right. If he tried to play the rail game, it's whatever. I would have, collected the Mega for free, and then I would have started hunting him down. But yeah, it's just a tough choice. The biggest part of the comeback was that free kill where with 2 or 2.5 minutes left, where I killed him at the LG stairs. Where he fragged me before, and then I caught him right at the corner for free. I caught him at the corner, which allowed me to get LG rail. I took no damage, and then I was able to take the light armor from rail and the heavy and start the cycle going with that much time left. If he didn't die right there and it was still a 5 frag game and he escaped, he could have probably held on to the game. Because in order for me to kill him there, I would have had to overextend to chase him, and then he would have spawned probably on the heavy and would have gotten it, got away, and been able to defend his lead. Synchronized caster blinks. That's pretty good. And that's the thing. Small comebacks, sometimes it's not the player in the lead's fault. They do almost everything.
Nixon, Wenger, acknowledge the is he going to do it? And today here, champion puts you under. But that's a hard Rafa on but when we scale up, your Wenger couldn't stop him.
But yeah, and part of the reason why the game, I don't want to look at 3 screen tears. There we go. Part of the reason why the game was the way it was at the beginning as well is because for some reason on some maps, and it happened a lot on Vale, which it did again in this matchup here, is for the first 3 to 5 minutes, I just could not, the game did not feel as normal. I couldn't hit as hard as I usually do. So even my average best was below average. And I was getting out-aimed really heavily in the beginning of some of the games. And I was taking, some standard fights and just losing them horribly, really badly. Where it's really hard to tell that until a minute or 2 has gone by, how the game is feeling, how you're aiming, moving, etc., etc. Because when you go into the map, you don't really have warm-up time to run around and to feel that. It's you get into the map, and as soon as all the spectators are launched in and ready, the game goes. And most of the time that's pretty quick. So you get in the map and you've got 10 seconds to run around, and you don't even have time to find the guy and to try to fight and see how everything's feeling. So you just have to go with the flow as the game's going. So yeah. So in this matchup, like I said, I chose Death Knight to try to, because he got first. He had first pick here? Yes, he did. He got first pick here. We're back on the EU server. He decided to pick Sorlag, which is a really good pick on this map. I decided to pick Death Knight to try to deal with Sorlag's potential mobility and nuke her, and to just have some, some sort of answer for the spit. I wanted to be able to deal dot damage as well. So that's why I picked what I picked. And so from this start here, and I use starting shotgun in this map because it's Sorlag and potentially you can deal a lot of damage. It kind of just depends on who I'm playing and how I'm feeling on the day, whether I use starting machine gun or starting shotgun. But I felt like I should use starting shotgun going into this game. So in this matchup, I collect the rocket, and then I immediately go back to Mega because her mobility is better than mine. And with that spawn, if you go for the rocket and then go for the armor by the window, and they hear you doing that, there's the possibility that they just have gotten heavy and they're rushing for the shotgun, which means they're going to get heavy and Mega, and you're not going to have it. And then at that point, you're not even going to have LG yet to like fight them and deal with them. So it's better to just get the rocket, come back, make sure that you secure the major item for yourself, which is what I do, and then just work to get the guns and then fight after that. So here he's like trying to work his way into rocket. I deal a lot of damage, but unfortunately for me, the flames didn't bounce him up like and get him stuck in the wall. It actually like propelled him out of the room. Which allowed him to escape. Otherwise, I would have been able to clean that up even with just starting shotgun and rockets. But he escapes. He hits a really nice rail here. This rail, as I'm just leaving the room, gives him so much to do on the map. So I have to leave, pick up the bubble to make sure I'm not railable. Now I take this position to listen for where he's going to be, and I take the opposite like item. So I just have to concede Mega. I take the heavy. Just make sure I get more rockets, and now I'm going to get myself a railgun. He's trying to push me here. So this is just going to be a messy fight, but I have to do it anyway. There's no like free escape. He caught me at the right time. And unfortunately, I don't deal any good exit damage there. So he's really healthy. He does the right thing to come to the middle to block the gun. And that rail is so huge right there. Really nice shot that's going to get him everything. He's a little late for this. He should have just this is a mistake from him. Like after he dealt all that damage, he just needs to secure full control and then look for me. So he hits this. Fine. He's doing what he should do. This RJ, like just come through here and just block the portal. Be ready. I'm weak as it is. He takes like some long ass route around, and that allows me to go through full speed and fire the flame strike. So now he's burning, and I've taken the only health he can pick up here. If he tries to drop now, he's really predictable in his movement. So he's like giving me the one opportunity to turn this situation around. Where in reality, he should have not messed up to RJ, like more aggressively moved into the room, and he could have killed me before I even took the Mega. So he takes away the armor, which is fine. And at this point, you don't see my health, but I know I'm not going to make it to the health bubble in time. And even if I do, I'm too weak and there's nothing up on the map. I'm like, I would rather have a reset here. I would rather just be down again and we both respawn with health rather than him getting full control and I can't do jack shit. So I just blow myself up and we just reset. So I spawn at LG. And then here, dude, in this situation, I get it if you're the person with nail gun and the person with LG is chasing you. The person with nail gun in this situation will actually have the advantage because they can spam the predictable like routes. But the amount of damage he does here, just plus forwarding as a Sorlag trying to chase me down, is just astronomical. This is a fight that should have went horribly for him. Even if he survives, he should have only survived with like 50 health left, and then he would have had a really hard situation. But he somehow hits so much pushing forward in a bad spot. He just worked his way out with incredible aim. He took a big risk and it paid off. So now he's just trying to clear ground, figure out where I'm at. I have to respect his position. So I go low, I go up to LG. I'm like, okay, I can probably go to LG, go to Mega, secure that position, and just trade off the items. So we do that. Now I'm looking for him. And I managed to catch him down here, but that flick rocket is just, again, just like the nails before, I take really bad random damage here in a situation where I could have maybe pinned him and kept him stuck and got a frag back, that amazing rocket bails him out. And he hits the rail too. So now I'm like, holy shit, let me get this armor and get the fuck out. And I just have to accept that it's tough shit. Things happen. So I'm trying to slow the game down, get some armor. And he's doing what he should. He's trying to figure out where I am so that he can potentially get both items. I like what he's doing here. He catches me here, I figured he might go for the mega health, and I'm just going to try to fight here, and if he pushes me, I'll flame strike. I do okay damage with the flame strike, but not the full 75 plus the dot. So he ends up winning the fight, like he should. Hit him with the rail. There's not even... What the fuck was that? There was not even like a damage sound for the rocket there. And what I would have liked to have seen him do here is after this, I actually would have liked to have seen him just take this health and then RJ to the mega. That would have been the safer move that like guarantees he gets control and he gets position to like try to deny me. What he does right here is actually a pretty big risk. And he's, okay, so he somehow gets a free kill while taking no damage as he moves through. So another risk that pays off. Here, the starting shotgun actually pays off against the tank. I know, like, when I got down there, I'm like, shit. He took the right pathing off the spawn. He's going to catch me. There's nothing I can do. I just need to try to deal max damage, and I do. So I'm down 5, but I have potential to bring this back. He's doing what he should do. He's, like, looking to deal max damage. He deals a shit ton. I take the armor. I'm going to try to take the heavy. I have to start doing this. So I do. Seeing if I can work my way back to the mega. I do. And I have the timing on it from the previous fight. Even though I died, I knew when he picked it up after he killed me. So I'm all inning here. If he committed to the mega, he's going to die to like a direct rocket and flame strike that I'm going to get as soon as the mega's coming up or not. Regardless, this is a good chance for me to catch him out at the armor and see if I can start making my way back into the game.
Cool. I think we're done.
So I do.
Well, for the most part.
He held ground that he shouldn't have. I hit a nice rail.
Okay. I will be right back. Okay, so there's a few things I'm going to touch up on, but I've got myself in a good position to kind of like just, I guess, wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow we're going to like I said, tomorrow we're just going to add the finishing touches. It'll take me like half hour to an hour to kind of place floor raise like I did on the level below. Floor raised and some dust beams on the upper levels. That'll probably take me actually about an hour. Well, I don't know. Half hour to an hour. I'm not sure. And then we're going to like... This area, for the most part, is pretty much already cluttered the way I want. I don't really want to put webs. Like, in my opinion, caves with webs are just not as realistic as like caves and man-made structures. Because I feel like nature has a way of taking out webs, like with breezes or other animals or whatever, trees rustling around. Webs are just easier in like man-made structures. So, anyways, that makes cluttering in this area for the most part relatively easy, because I'll just add a few mushroom patches and kind of I'll probably put the 2 wolves down because there's going to be Claw and Fang, which are going to be 2 pretty big wolves that are going to be like the final bosses of this level. Yeah. But for the most part, this area is already pretty much done. So tomorrow we're going to put the finishing touches in the maze and add the finishing touches to the cave area. And then, hold on, let me bring on my calendar because I had a lot of time to do like calendar stuff. I'll clutter cave / finishing touches. And then Saturday I have it down that I'm going to be scripting in. Let me think about this for a sec. I don't have as much time. Okay, so Saturday what we're going to do is we're going to work on scripting in all the doors and traps, such as like that. There's like a trap door right here. We're going to script that in. We're going to script the doors with the levers in this cave level. We're going to script the levers in the maze. I already have one scripted, but I need to get the others. And this last door is going to be a little bit tricky. It's going to require some, well, this door is going to require some like personal scripting, like that's not really in the base game. But this one's going to be tricky because I need to create some items and have some variables input. And so this is going to be interesting. Should be doable though. But yeah, that's what Saturday is going to do, or that's what Saturday is going to be. Sunday, we're going to be doing a few different things because I have more time on Sunday. Sunday, I'm going to have like respawning enemies in the cave level. It's going to be like a werewolf level. And while you're roaming, like while you kill the werewolves and you're roaming around the area, like they're roaming around this area, activating the levers, there's going to be a few instances where you step in what's called a trigger box. And once you do, if certain wolves are dead, then they'll respawn. And then once you activate the final lever, then the wolves won't disappear, but they will no longer respawn when stepping through the trigger boxes or whatever. So that's something that we're going to figure out on Sunday. We're going to be doing nav mesh, which it is going to be a pain. There's just no way around it. It's going to take forever. Like it really is. It really is going to take a while. Yeah. It's going to take a while. So, gonna nav mesh. And depending on how much time we have left on Sunday and how I'm feeling, we may start the sanctum level, which is what I'm gonna like what I consider to be like the final level, but it's really only gonna be one room that you're gonna enter through, and it's gonna be like like a big sanctum tomb-like area that's going to have like a big sarcophagus in the center, and the tomb of, well, it's not going to be a tomb. It's going to have a statue of Hircine, or like a shrine or something, that the player can activate, and it's going to put in some dialogue. Well, dialogue's the wrong word. Well, it's going to have some lines voiced, not by me, or like I'm going to try and bring in lines that Hircine says in Morrowind, that, you know, players are going to, like, players who have played Blood Moon will recognize. Players will make a choice, and that'll determine one of 3 enemies that they're going to face in the final level. And that also will depend on, like, when they defeat that enemy, that'll give them their reward, and then the quest will be over. So that's the idea of what the Sanctum level is going to be. So Sunday is starting, Monday is continuing the build, Wednesday the 26th, Thursday 27th is cluttering Sanctum, which shouldn't take very long. It really should only take those 2 days. Saturday and Sunday. Okay, so Saturday, going to be scripting enemies / encounters in the Sanctum, which is going to, you know, what I was talking about before, like 3 different types of enemies you get. And the encounters, like what you encounter with the shrine. Sunday is going to be like, I might stream on Sunday, but it's also going to be kind of a personal day because I'm going to be writing dialogue, and that's not really something I want to stream. Not because I don't want it to be spoiled, but because it'll be kind of boring. It's not like Skyrim mod, like it's not like level design where you can visually see something. Writing in a live stream, to me, is just not the way to do it. So that'll probably be more of a personal day, because Sunday I'm writing dialogue for the character, like the quest giver. And I'm gonna try and get the lines recorded from my voice actor, because I have somebody who's doing it who's actually got a degree in that. And then Monday the 31st, capping out the month, we're going to be creating this character. Hopefully we'll have the recorded lines, and we'll try and incorporate the lines. So that's kind of the idea for the rest of the month. And so hopefully we'll have everything except, you know, for like the quest incorporation and some minor things. Hopefully we'll have all of this like finished by the end of the month. Well, by all of this, everything I've described. The mod will definitely not be done by then, because we have to test it. I still haven't even included the portion where, well, like toward the end of the month, August is going to be like actually putting in the quest, getting a courier scripted in there. There's still so much. But hopefully by the end of the month, the biggest things will be done. That's what the goal is. So it's going to be busy, but we're looking to be done by the time Starfield comes out. And not only that, August is, well, the first weekend of August, the 4th, 5th, and 6th, like that's going to be a period of time where I am going to be busy, because I will be out of town. So that's like an entire weekend gone. So, yeah. Anyways, that's kind of the idea. So for everybody on YouTube, thank you so much for joining me. You'll see me again tomorrow. We're going to be finishing up the clutter, the Ruins of Mortrag level. going to be great. For everybody on Twitch, we're going to head over to Quake Champions to cap out the night. So everybody on YouTube, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.